everyone. This is your girl Keisha. Welcome to Perfecting My 360. This is where we spotlight and celebrate people within the community. And I'm so happy to have Key, the host, on today, and the owner of Keyp It Clean. Um, where she's here with us today to tell us her story. Because we all have one, and I'm glad you're here with us. How are you today?
Good afternoon, all is well, and thank you so much for having me here. It's definitely been a pleasure, but a challenge trying to get the interview with you. Of course,
Yeah.
everything is going on, but I'm excited to be here and to share uh, my stellar success with you.
Because we've been following each other forever and ever and ever. And I even like our happen chance of meeting. I don't know if you remember when we met.
In the Go
I've been,
Go, Fast
yeah.
Eddie's, right?
No, it
Was
was
it
at
Fast
the
Eddie's?
no, it's a Walmart.
The Walmart with your
When I was with my
son.
son. Yeah.
It was. That's what it was. Oh, it was another girl. Her name is Sherry. Yep. She walked up on me. I know you. I said, you
Right. I was like, is your name Key?
do?
He was like, yeah.
Yep.
I realized how tall you were. I was like, she's so tall and beautiful.
It's cold up here. Thank
And
you.
my son was just like, and you were just telling them, do right, stay in school, blah, blah, the whole little.
Look, that's me. I have two nephews. So I mean I'm definitely on the boys. I'm on the boys. I definitely want black men to be, uh positively supported, not tore down, thrive, succeed, excel, because they have to pour back into the black women so that we can be the reinforcement of the goals that they have set for themselves. So
Right.
I'm that girl. I
Yeah,
pour.
that's why I get on him all the time. I'm like, get up, do what you have to do. Come on, keep your grades up. And I tell him all the time, I said, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't stay on you. You can believe that.
Mm-mm.
I
Mm-hmm.
said, a person who doesn't love their child, they don't care what they do. I said,
Mm-mm.
this is love, honey.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You're here to talk a little bit about yourself and
Okay.
tell your story. Hazel, your story is just like I know everybody who follows her on social media, they see you all your transitions and everything that you've done. So we can start out actually by talking about what you do, your normal profession.
So
As
my normal profession. Okay, so my normal profession, I can just disclose that I'm a district government employee for 11 years. Previously, I worked for Metro. I was a bus operator for 11 years prior to, and previous to that, let me see. I worked with the Maryberry's Youth Leadership Institute. So that was one of the first jobs that I've had. And I went straight to Metro after high school. And with Metro, I saw that I was not positioning myself to be as effective as I wanted to be, which is more community involved. I'm a humanitarian by heart. So I was kind of stricken and kind of confined because I was only a bus operator going from point A to point B, although that contributed to the community because I was responsible for the lives of the people who aborted my bus, as well as to getting them to and from their destination safely. But I didn't feel like I was impacting the way that I could have. It wasn't tapping into the ministry that I had set. Um, my goals based on the direction of what I felt as though I needed to do. So I transitioned to DHS and district government. In DHS, supported a lot of families that receive TANF and those who are attempting to connect with the tech providers to transition from TANF. Help them to develop stabilization plans for their household, receive housing, employment, mental health awareness, and clinical counseling, as well as employment. Transition again from there to adjudication, prosecutions. So it's a few more things that I do now. I'm an investigator. So I'm sorry, but I'm an investigator with the district government. So right at the present time, that's where I stand.
They'll be okay.
Yeah. Until they see me like, damn, Key, man, damn.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's wonderful. You went, I mean, just it's naturally in you to, no matter what, even being a private investigator, you don't know, or but being an investigator, you don't know how you can alter that person's life. You know, because they do whatever they doing, so they're like, they might be like, oh, I don't want to be caught doing that, and
Yeah.
change the whole way. So still, you helping people, whether they see it or not.
I'm helping somebody.
Yeah, you helping some. So, is that what you? Could you graduated from where you graduated last year?
2018 with my bachelor's of arts in human services development.
Okay.
Yeah, my area of concentration was barrier remediation, so that definitely focused on families that had challenges, those who may have had troubled teens or drug addiction or drug abuse. I've worked with families who had human trafficking within their homes, those who had prostitution within the homes. Like, it's been crazy. Like, uncles would pimp out the nieces, stepfathers will have their stepdaughters like tricking. It's like a lot of stuff that you would never know. And I mean, honestly, like, you harbor a lot having so much information under your belt because a person just feels drawn. It's like once a person starts to vent to you, you're responsible for everything
Mm-hmm.
that they
I
tell
believe
you.
that.
I mean, and it's like you really have to be equipped and train yourself how to handle it. Focus on being a results based focused person, and then that way it won't feel like you're mishandling the information that's given to you.
Right, because that can hit close to home or close to
Yeah,
your heart. You know, it's a thing where you have to really start to take all that in. It's a lot on a person. You
it
know,
is.
you're getting all that information, and you might want to cry, but then you got to feel strong, you know, for the person that you're about to help.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it's okay to cry. You always have to know that it's okay to cry, but don't stay stuck in a sunken place.
Hmm.
It's okay to be there for someone, but you have to start to establish the steps that are next. And if you don't know what the next steps are, you have to be able to create a plan. You don't have to be equipped with the resources, but have a plan to get the resources. Don't just leave either yourself or a person in a pit where as though they're stuck. Allow them options. Options gives you a way to have a choice. No
Yeah,
options leaves you where you are, you know.
yeah, because everybody has to know that there is a way out.
It's always a way out of
Hmm.
everything. A
Yeah.
conversation, a relationship, a situation is always a way out.
Yeah.
I'm the exit strategy. I'm trying to tell you. I'm the exit strategy. I can tell you it's always a way out. You never have to be in anything or associated with anything that you don't want to be a part of.
That you never have to
Ever.
say, "Oh, I couldn't. I just didn't know how." Oh, you know how.
Yeah.
That
And
thing
some people
people.
don't know what steps to take first. And it's okay
Mhm.
to not know where to begin. It's okay to
Yeah.
not know where to begin because sometimes you're someone else's hero. You're not always the hero to yourself.
Yeah.
And
And then some people are scared to come forward because, you know, I tell my son and my kids, period. I
mhm.
said, if someone touches you and you know they shouldn't be touching you, I don't care if they say, if you tell, I'm going to kill you and your mother, let them kill me. Let them
Mhm.
kill me.
Mhm.
You
And
tell
that's
me
the
every
biggest
single thing that happens to you.
and that's one of the biggest challenges that we have is not being silenced. Being comfortable with exercising your volume.
Mm,
Being comfortable with letting a person making them aware that what they're doing is wrong. This is not okay. Even if you're not in the position to defend yourself, you let them know this is not okay.
mhm.
I'm not okay with the way you're treating me. I'm not okay with the way that you are touching me, things of that sort. But, it's different avenues and ways that a person that's facing that situation can handle it, but they would have to know what the steps are to take. because you don't want to inflict more abuse, of course, on them from the assailant. So
Yeah, because people are. That's why, like, when these women go through this stuff in court, and then they say, I have even personal friends who have gone through things, and people are like, the judge just sent me home. They just dismissed my case. They just did this, and this guy is harassing me and all this. I'm like, what? Like, go back,
but in
like
certain
tell them
cases,
this.
it's only I mean, in certain cases, you have to start to create the paper trail, especially if it's someone that you know.
Yeah.
There has been so many friends that I have that were in domestic abusive relationships, and they stayed with, and this is guys and girls. I've seen girls beat on guys. I don't approve of that. And I've
Mm,
definitely seen guys, beat on girls. I don't approve of that either. I don't approve of any type of domestic violence unless you're into dominatrix. Okay. And that's something totally different. I'm just
but
saying.
that's a whole different topic.
It's a whole different topic, but I'm just letting you know, unless that's where you're going with that, you should not be going there with that. But
Right.
I definitely, I mean, you have to create a paper trail, and
Mm,
it's a very sensitive subject to reconcile differences between abusive partners, and you as a friend or civilian interject or intercept into what you see transpiring, and then they get back with that person, and that's
yeah.
common. So sometimes you have to really assess what you're going to walk yourself into, because a person can say, Your Honor, he beat me, or Your Honor, she hit me, or she did this, and they just had sex yesterday evening. And the
Right.
judge is like, I'm not getting myself involved in this. Y'all figure out what's really going to happen. Come back to me when it's in order. Not
Yeah.
that
And
dismissing it is, consensual, but I mean, that's just what it is.
yeah. So, it's people out there. They, especially with our children. Like, I don't. We all went through that phase in our life where some people are like, I'm not going to spank my kids, or I'm not going to do this, or I'm not. Because in truth, it's always a different way. Because people don't realize, like, even the verbal abuse, all this, it starts out as something
Mm-hmm.
small. It may be um, how they speak to the person. It's and it just escalates. And I know you've seen that. So that's why you just, like you said, they got to keep that paper trail going on of
Mm-hmm.
every single. Like I tell people all the time, no matter what it is, keep a journal.
Yeah.
Keep a journal. Keep all recordings. Everything,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff will help you.
Mm-hmm.
With something small
That's true.
that's going to escalate into something big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
I just want to pretend my daughter is 23, my son is 28, and my youngest son is 15, and I
Mm.
still want to protect them all. And if I have the information, I'm telling it.
Exactly. Exactly. As you should. As you should. Definitely have to counsel those in your household, because they'll definitely be following the templates that you create for yourself. They watch how you treat yourself, and they align that with how others treat you. And then
Yeah.
they'll align that with how they treat themselves and how others treat them.
There was a question someone posted on Facebook, and I've always said it, always. They said, treat your children, should you apologize to your children?
Yes.
Yeah, all the time.
Because
If
a
you,
lot of anger doesn't belong to the child.
hmm,
A lot of anger does not belong to the child.
correct.
Hmm.
It's like, but I was like, if I know I said, because you can think something happened and it didn't happen, and you go back and you be like, oh, okay, that didn't. I'm going to apologize to my children, and I think it just teaches them how to be more understanding and more open to other people. It's not that do what I say, don't do what I do, do what I say type thing.
Hmm.
It's they're looking at you as a reference. They're looking
And
at
it's
you
it's a
as their
matter of
role model when they're young like that.
and it's a
So,
matter of I don't apologize for what I said. I apologize for how I said it.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I
I
tell
still
people
don't
the
need the message
tone.
to get lost in a tone. in
Mm-hmm.
the delivery. I do not need the message to get lost in the tone or the delivery.
Yep.
I
It's
still
the
need you to abide by the authority. Like I tell my nephew, don't ever argue with intelligence.
So is that when you decided to so when you went back to did you decide that's what you wanted to do when
Yeah,
you
and see, I
or
pay
is
for
it was it a continued
so I started college, I want to say in 2013.
Mhm.
And I knew that I didn't want student loans. So I paid for college out of pocket. And a lot of my tuition was paid through the incentives that I received from the bands that I performed with. So I paid for college straight out of pocket. No student loans, no Sally, nothing. I didn't know who those people were. So what I did was I knew what my biweekly payments were going to be, and I assessed that with what my intake would be from my hosting as well as my performances. It was one band that I was performing with. And this was years ago. The manager told me, "Listen, I can't do more than $75 to $80 per show. We play once a week. We're developing." So in my mind, I'm like, okay, that's 300 a month. You know what I'm saying? 300 to maybe 375 a month, right?
Right.
In my mind, that's how I'm calculating things. I don't look at it as $75 for this. I'm like, okay, how many sets do we have to do? Oh, it's one set. Oh, one set, that's like 45 minutes to an hour, including sound check, right? Okay. Do you make $75, $80 an hour at your job right now? No, you say? Okay, so so I'm like, okay, well, I can do one set. Okay, cool. So Um, I'm here. I can perform. I can do this. And then I need to make sure that I have my money because my money is not going into the bartender. My money is not going into the kitchen. My money is not going into anything inside the facility. I need my money for school. I have books. I have tuition. I have, um, gas that I have to, you know what I'm saying, pay for and stuff like that. So I mapped it differently. And what I did was feature with several bands and then I host, so those were things that provided assistance to me. Like I tell people, go pay my way through college. People look at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, go can pay you really well if you're doing what you're supposed to do with your money.
Right.
But if you spend all your money on the outfit just to perform or something fresh just to wear, I don't give a damn. I get a whole bunch of shirts with my name put on there, and that's my outfit. Or hand me one of those band t-shirts. I'll wear this with some pumps.
And some
Yeah,
jeans.
pumps, jeans, put a nice little ruby woo on, and let's go. Yeah,
Right.
I got goals outside of this. I'm not here to meet any men. I'm not here to meet any women. I'm not here to meet I'm not here to meet anybody. My goals are different. I'm in there and I'm out of there. I mix mingle. I I don't really do a lot of pictures with people. I do, but I don't. I just don't like not knowing who I'm taking pictures with. Does that make sense?
Right.
The
It's that
audience.
energy. I believe in that energy.
Yeah, and it's just like sometimes blended audiences, you can easily be targeted or something like that. It's been a lot of violence and stuff like that just by being uh guilty by association. So at the present I'm not with the band. Of course, due to the pandemic, I didn't really have um the time to designate to a band during the downtime in the pandemic. I just didn't really have the interest, let me just be honest, to
Mhm.
maintain the consistency while there were other important factors in my life right now.
Right.
And I just had to prioritize what needed to be done, assessed, and completed now primarily. There are no go-go bands open, performing consecutively at the present time. So I said, well, I don't need to be going to practices to be doing live shows. I'm not against it, but I really could be doing some other things in my time. So I know that this go around, I said to myself, go will take the back burner for me because I burnt myself out in my beginning stages of learning the stage life and the go-go life. I miss cookouts, I miss Thanksgivings, I miss weddings, I missed a lot of things because I had shows. And I said I was going to reintroduce myself back into the go-go world. I never left it because I still host, certain events, and I still come out and do features. I still support and go see certain bands, but I just had to position and purpose myself where I wanted to bloom and grow within the community. I couldn't allow it to take over me anymore because it was consuming. It was fun, but it was consuming. I use my platform to my advantage. I use my availability to my advantage. I go to school. I do online classes the nights that I had shows, because I could stay up all night to complete the assignments. And, it just worked in its favor for me. So I went back to school. 2018 was my year of completion. I said, listen.
Because I noticed you disappeared when it's
I
almost
had to.
graduation time. You
I
were
had
gone.
to. I left Facebook for almost a
Focus.
year. I left Facebook
Mhm.
for almost a year. Not that anything happened on Facebook, but I just didn't have time to keep the gateway open as to what I was doing because I didn't have time to upload every day. I was
Mhm.
really busy. Like now, I don't really have the time to be on Facebook. Every now and then, if I see a notification on my phone, cool. But I'm busy. But I got away from Facebook for about a year. I got back in. Well, I never left church, but I became more involved in activities in church. So that took away from any downtime that I may have had. It was a New Year's service. New Year's service. We had a revival in the beginning of the church, and my pastor said that this is the year of the manifestation download. So I said, okay, things that I had prayed about are promised to deliver in this year. I sowed a seed into, the church. I put a seed on the Rhamer. I don't know if those of you who are spiritually inclined know what a Rhamer offering is. That's when the prophetic word is spoken directly over your life and you sow into the man of God for the prophecy. So I'm very spiritually inclined. I do cut up on Facebook, but I am saved. I'm filled with the Holy Ghost. I do not disclaim Christ as my Lord and Savior at all. So let me just put that out there. But there was a revival. The pastor spoke a prophetic over my life. In 2018, I said, okay, this is my year. I need to get some things in order. Okay. So I was in my same, I left when I moved out of my mom's house. I was like maybe 21, 22, right?
Mhm.
I moved uptown. I was in the same apartment for 10 years. Though I've never moved outside of that. I rented for 10 years. 2018, I purchased my home, my first home, my home. Okay. 2018, I purchased my home in July. I said, okay, when I moved back in with my mother for maybe like a year, I got back in school. I said, okay, let me just get back in school and figure out what I need to do. I spoke with my advisor. My advisor said, oh, you only need 3.5 credits. And then when I started, I didn't realize I was working that hard. So when I got back into school, I said, okay, well, listen, what do I need to do? Because I want to graduate. I want to graduate. I want to finish. She said, well, you can just take out a loan. I said, that's not what God said for me to do. I'm
Mhm.
not going to be in debt behind trying to pursue my education. So what happened was the 3.5 credits that I wound up needing, I let her know that I was taking some classes with district government that are also similar or covered under my syllabus of studies. So that took off 2 credits. So God was working in my favor. So I had
Yes,
two
it was.
credits that I had to get. Yeah, and because I had did so many special assignments and work with my dean was fine. And my professor. So but I worked with them on some things and they gave whoo child. My professor looked like Rick Fox, honey.
Curly head, light skin. Look at you.
I'll send you the picture in your
Supposed to be
inbox.
studying. You weren't supposed to be looking at the professor.
He's coming in a Hyundai. So listen, whoo, okay. So I'll send you some pictures in the inbox. So he sat me down. He said, listen, all of the course studies that you've done with me, the special assignments that you did in the team over the summer, because I took summer classes as well. I didn't have to, but these were voluntarily courses that I had taken that were not credited, within my syllabus. He gave me credit for those. which eliminated what I needed. Fast forward to I'm living with my mother. I saved about $1,000 a month living with my mother. So I had about maybe 13. No, I had a little more than that because I still had go-go money coming in, and I had go-go money coming in, and I still had some other money coming in. Go back to the advisor. She told me that my balance would be about 12,000, something like that. I said okay. But then I also wanted to get a home. And I'm like, damn, all I know about the getting a home is you gotta have a deposit. You gotta have a deposit. So I was like, okay. I went to Navy Federal. Navy Federal was like, look, we got a zero down interest lock in. So you can move it to a house, don't put no money down. They give you a
Mm,
fixed rate based upon what your score is currently. My score was booming because I ain't had no bills. I had
right.
no bills. My score was, to the
I
to the
tell
moon.
people when I want to make myself happy, I look at my credit score.
There you go. That can give you the smile on your face. So they told me I didn't have to put anything down, just pay for your inspection, appraisal, da da da. I said, okay, I can handle that with my paychecks. I went to my advisor and said, okay, sign me up for these last 2.5 classes. She swiped and my money was gone in a matter of seconds. I was like, oh, but it was okay.
It was there. It was there to be gone, though.
It was cold cash. Do you hear me? This wasn't on credit card. This was checking account. Okay. So anywho, she swiped. This was probably like in March. I only had one semester and I muscled all those credits. She said, if you finish all this before, no, this was February. She said, if you finish all these before May 2nd, you can graduate and we could put your graduation application in. So they did everything. She actually started the process because she knew I was adamant. Finished everything. I graduated May 12th, 2018 from UDC. Shout out to the Firebirds. I have my bachelor's. Yep. And then I closed on my house in July of 2018. So yeah.
You
So
just had
that's where
all your blessings
I
right
wasn't
there.
I wasn't playing. When I came back on Facebook, I had deeds and keys. I had degrees and deeds. You know what I'm saying? Degrees and keys, degrees and keys. That's how you do it. When you disappear, you come back the right way.
Right.
I had degrees and keys. I was not playing. I was like, "Oh Lord, thank you," and I'm ready. So then I said, I'll find what I'm interested in right now. Got back in the bands, joined the bands, had a good time, host, and then hosting started to take off for me like never before. Not in go-go, but in corporate. Because
Okay.
all the seminars that I went to, I got invited to host certain events, and I was okay with that. Started with Bethesda Blues and Jazz, going up there, hosting the pre-shows for the Joe Clear shows. They do the
Okay.
Friday. Yeah. So I did the happy hour, the foyer area, before they transitioned the room into the arena in the
Okay. Because that's what I know. The arena.
yeah. So
Yeah.
where the area where you come in, that everybody's taking pictures, and then there's like
Uh
a bar
huh.
right there. So that's the
Yeah.
area that I
Yeah.
host. So that's the area that I
Okay.
hosted at Bethesda Blues and Jazz. There were a few events. I did some side shows with the Brinco All Stars and Jamar Dukes at the Carlisle Club. Like I did things to secure the bag. I wasn't
Did you travel
interested
in doing
in.
it? Did you go different state? Did you go state to state, or you just stayed local?
I listen. I did Beetlejuice. The soundtrack for Beetlejuice. I got a nice whopping 1,200 for just doing the theme of Beetlejuice.
No.
That's all I had to do. I said, "Oh, we do this in vocal training."
Wow.
But it was cool. Like I did so many things, and people just like so many opportunities opened themselves up to me. Um, I never really cared about the relevance of being popular because I'm my own person. I don't have to be around popular people to be, you know, popular. That's just not me. I'm never really. I like organic people.
Yeah.
I
Real.
like I
It's
like
real
people who do
stuff.
things effortlessly and they're recognized and acknowledged through that. Now I don't knock people who position themselves for that, but gifted people don't have to. We just
Right.
stay consistent. You know, I'm spiritually inclined. I just believe that, God doesn't call a qualify, he qualifies the call. So wherever I'm supposed to be at, he's going to position me to be there, regardless of how long it took you to get there. It won't take me as long to get there if that's what God want me to do.
Right. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's already planned. We just
It's
got to
already
stop.
planned.
Like how we said earlier, get out your own way.
Get out
It's
your own
already
way.
there.
Yep. 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 Absolutely.
But you knew what you wanted to do. You, like, some people just don't know what they want. They don't know where they might not know where to start or who. When I was thinking about school, I reached out to you. I
Yes,
was
you
like,
did.
hey, you did this. What did you do to do this? But
Yeah.
I decided to not because I was going to pursue my psychology degree.
Hmm.
But what I decided to do was just further more in my massage therapy. But yeah, when I was going to do psych, I was like, girl, what did you do to, and you was like, but, and that information that you've given me, I've
Hmm.
given it to so many other people.
Hmm. And that's how you do it. That's
Mm-hmm.
how you do it. I'm not one that sits on information. I don't harbor anything. I share everything. You want to know? Let's create a plan for you. And I tell people, as an adult, I think that people need to do vision boards quarterly
Here's mine.
because your interest.
It's my, I call it my
Yeah.
evolution board.
I mean, because like honestly, like let me tell you something. When you are doing things with self-appropriated funding, you have to check off certain things because you're using talent to provide find funding for certain entities. You know what I'm saying? You're
Yeah.
not going to see your marginal profit up front as an entrepreneur, right? Especially if your talent is providing services that you need in a different lane. You won't see it until everything else is eliminated. Like, let's just say you were a masseuse who was in debt, right?
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't see the benefits of what you are doing with your appointments until you satisfy all of your debt. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Then you
Yeah.
can start to purchase additional tables and hire staff and LLC it and get it. You know what I'm saying? Patent and
Right.
and
You have to build it. You have
and
to.
yeah, you have to build it, but it's certain
Yeah.
things you have to eliminate out your way to get certain things done. So right now, your residual income that you have coming in will be focused on the overhead until those things are eliminated. And then
Mm-hmm.
you can start to focus on the royalties of, your benefit, your talents and your business.
That's where I'm headed there. All I have is wellness center in my brain.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm going with this. And I'm just listing everything that I want to have in my wellness center.
Yep. And you have beautiful skin, so I definitely would
Thank
encourage you to
you.
look into aesthetics.
I did. I actually
Mhm.
did. I had 3 people to tell me to take a class. I even called a school to get information, and the school called me back, and I just was like, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. So yeah, that is on my list.
Aesthetics and
So
waxing,
thank
because
you
I
for
like a good wax.
confirmation. Thank you for somebody just reached out to me today and said they wanted to do a facial. They was like, "Can you do a facial on me?" Because I do facials just
Okay, okay.
with natural products. I just use honey and just the steam and the cleanse with coconut oil. I do.
Yeah.
That's the kind of facials I do. So
Mhm.
and I didn't even know she knew I did that. So she was like,
Mhm.
"Can you do a facial?"
Girl, you do a lot of things as well. Yep.
You were talking about earlier. You mentioned something. It was just about business. Did you just start Keep It Clean?
So no, keep it clean. I have been cleaning since 2010.
Okay.
Probably before then as a chore, but profitable incentive. Yes, but it actually started within ministry because in my church, I don't know how long you've been following me on Facebook or friends with me on Facebook. I think it's been quite a while, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But
it's
in
been.
church, I'm what they call an angel of mercy. So it's like a church nurse, and the it's like a usher that attends to specific ranges of people within the church. So
Okay.
I was designated to the seniors. So, and I love the seniors in the church. Those are my babies. So here and there, like once you start to develop bonds and relationships with the congregation and some of the saints in the church, they and you sometimes they might not have a ride home or metro access is just late or whatever the case is. I said, can you take me home? And then a relationship is built. And then it's like, well, would you mind coming and help me, tidy up a little bit? And that's how it started. So I'm
Okay.
cleaning up some of the older, and how you call it, hospice care. um, attendees and members, those who are incapacitated, disabled, or just not able to maneuver and keep things tidy as they would prefer to. And then it just came where as though a friend told a friend told a friend, and then somebody started to tell like their children, "Hey, I found out a person that can clean up the spot." The children call me, "Hey, I don't really have the time to clean up my parents' home. Can you do it?" And it became like that type of entity. Now this year, um, I said, let me, okay, the pandemic happened. I said, okay, listen, I'm sitting still. There are people who are calling me to provide domestic services for their home. I said, okay, let me just go out. And I said, let me just, I already had the brand and everything. I just didn't have the logo and things of that sort. I always had my name because I was like, look, keep it clean. Do whatever you want. Keep it clean.
I like how you
That's
did it
how,
too.
yeah. But the way I spell it
Yeah,
was
I like how
like
you
my
spell it.
name, but yeah. So I'm like, I have nephews. I love children. I will welcome as many kids in this house. I don't like adults, so
Sound like me.
I don't do
Adults
adults.
act too much like children. Children act like they supposed to act, so I can deal with that. I
I'm
know
like,
what to expect.
kids like, can I play with slime? You could look. You could do whatever you want. Just keep it clean.
Right.
Okay. 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 So that's been my thing. I registered a business this year. I got my LLC. I patented. And I did actually get a certificate or an award as they were. I don't want to dumb it down. A certificate for Black owned business. Um, I had received several merits for services within the community. I actually started doing different things in the community. So outside of cleaning, I umbrellaed. I was doing to the need to feed. I would feed the homeless every Thanksgiving, and I would do the the holiday care packages during the Christmas season. But there are different companies and nonprofits that are taking over that particular program. So what I do is just support and donate because I really don't have the time to become stationary anymore. Because we used to cook and set up right in Heckage Mall parking lot and
Mm-hmm.
take food out of our own refrigerator, cook turkeys, make macaroni, bake cornbread and things of that sort. We would do all those things for the community out of our own pockets. Um, but I knew that I wanted to um, thrive to continue to make more of a permanency approach with my business. So I did that, got the logo, got everything going, and then it's like at this point everybody needed service. So I was like, oh my goodness, I need to start hiring because I was just a man of one.
Right.
It'd take me a few hours just to clean a house, and it's like you got people have to trust you around their place because a lot of times people would just give me the keys to their place or either make a key because I would either be a bi-weekly servicing attendee or either a one-stop shop, and I'll just give them their key whenever they're ready to come home, or we have a certain location where I would put it at for them to get back in. But it's a lot that you have to do, and it's hard to hire people because
Are you
it's
doing
hard.
background checks
I
for?
have to because
Yeah.
a lot of these homes have children in them, so I can't have any sex offenders in there. I can't
Hmm.
have anyone with B&Es on their record. I can't have a lot of people working with me. It is so hard because you're actually going into someone's home.
Right.
Because I'm OCD, to me, I don't really have anything. I just be like, oh, that's it. Oh, that's it. Like for me, because that's what I do. Cleaning is what I do. For some other people, whereas though, like let's just say you're therapeutic masseuse, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Your hands don't you don't think about your hands getting tired because that's what you enjoy doing. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
True.
saying? There
True.
might be a
I
person
don't.
like me, like, come on, you feel better yet? Like, I've been rubbing for 12 minutes. And you like 12 minutes. Girl, I ain't even put the rocks on your back yet.
Right.
Yeah, it's
To me,
different.
when I massage, because I do have carpal tunnel,
Mhm.
but massage therapy helps me.
Yeah.
Like when I'm rubbing someone else, it's actually helping me too. That
Fellas, y'all
movement,
hear
getting my
that?
look. I'm gonna tag everything.
Trying to loosen up that carpal tunnel, fellas. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, But yeah, but because that's what I do, clean is what I do, it doesn't bother me. So when I see certain things, that's why I do assessments before I come to service the home. That way I know exactly what it is that you want done. I know exactly what needs to be, focused on. Like I have certain target areas that I'm looking for when I come into a home. The floor, that's the easy part because I got to sweep anyway. You get what I'm
I
saying?
get them corners in my baseboard. You know where I mop,
And me,
and
I'm
then
the
I push
baseboard
up.
queen.
I supposed to get
Listen,
that toothbrush for real.
I am the baseboard queen. You understand me? I don't play them games. I look, toothbrush and the baby bottle.
I'm not doing that.
I mean, but if a person needs what they need, you
Mhm.
have to be the avenue to provide it. You'll find diversity and you'll be able to divine intervention so that way you meet the needs of your customers and then you're referred. Like my services go based upon referrals.
Mhm.
I'm only one person. I have a team of 5 now. I already had a team of 3,
Okay.
but I hired a carpet cleaning tech. He also waxes and strips and and he does buffering services. Um I just hired another team member. She started on Tuesday. She's good. So, I definitely I'm very precise about what it is that I need. And I will train you, but time management is my biggest thing. In order for me to meet the goals of my team, I need for them to help me meet mine. So if you want to see more, uh income, I'm gonna need you to work on your time so we can get as many houses done in one day. You know.
Right.
But I'm a fair boss, well, I'm a fair team lead. I'm a boss to the
Yeah.
boss community, but I don't boss up on my team.
Right.
I'm definitely fair. Uh I mean, and I support, because some people, this may just be your connectivity to pour into the business that you want to develop of your own, which don't have anything to do with cleaning. You just may know how to clean.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And this is just a line of income that can help you towards your goals. And I believe in providing that particular type of avenue for people. I like to pour out into people. I like to, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to be the liaison of your success, but I'm a staple towards it, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that.
Yeah, I don't mind too. Like if I know information or if I can help someone to get to where they need to be, I'd rather be that person.
Yes.
I'd
Hmm.
rather help people at all times than like even for you. Like I was just like, oh, this what she need? Let me copy and paste this and share this stuff, and like I will share anybody's anything. I don't care. I don't look for the recognition of it. I don't
Hmm.
look
That's nice.
for, you know, any payment from it. Like
Hmm.
I'm supporting another person. Period.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
if I know you have a good product, oh I know, I'm gonna share your stuff.
Right.
Or if I know somebody like one lady, I just know that she does a good job. She's a closet organizer. Well, she's an
Yeah.
organizer.
Hmm.
And I know she did a wonderful job for someone else. And she's nice. And we actually massaged her and her husband. So they're
Yeah.
nice people. I was like, let me just share her stuff.
Yep. Yep. And that's the important thing to do. I mean, and the one I can't take all credit for the customer service that I have. This comes from a lot of training with the district government, a lot of poise and tenacity, effective listening, knowing how to communicate, uh, being understanding, knowing how to position what's priority,
Hmm.
you know, and of course, always having a goal, having certain steps that you need to take to execute your mission.
Yep. I write down mine. I write down for the 5 things I want to accomplish
Mm-hmm.
throughout the day. So and when I do that, I will still. So if I write down my 5 things, I'll still keep the the 3 things, but I'll ask. I mean the 4 things, but I'll add something new.
Yeah.
So it's just to me it brings consistency. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm always going to do this. If I'm praying today, I'm going to pray. I'm always, but you know what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
if I'm doing this, I'm doing this. I'm gonna take my time out. I'm gonna hug my mother today, like for 5. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I be
I'm
having to
making
write
it.
that down too.
Yeah, little like you have to. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah,
call so and so today because you just have to just show consistency in your life and
definitely.
keep your goals your goals.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like our goals don't have to be big, huge. This is it's this that small little step.
Yeah, mile markers are important to you, and
Mm,
you only have to create them as often as you need to. You're not in
mm,
competition with anyone. You're just in competition with the person you were yesterday.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I'm glad that you are like you're everything that you're doing. Like I was like I just have to have her on because you're so involved in the community and school and your singing career and like at first, like I told you, we were discussing earlier. Like I said, I like go-go's, but I really didn't go. Don't even tell them why.
Listen, some bands I just like
I
from
listened
afar.
to it. I like I said, I went to the community, like things within the community. I grew up on around 58th, so yeah. So it
My
was
family
known.
grew up around there.
It was known. So it was in my presence. I just didn't like.
I hated that high rise.
Yeah, I was around the. I tell people all the time. It was like I was in the Twilight Zone. The
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood I lived in. I lived where Beulah Baptist is. That was
Mm.
I lived right down that hill. I could walk up the hill and go to Beulah Baptist. So that it was all old people on my block. So it was like the Twilight Zone. You see all these old people and we playing our little double dutch rope. Nobody really came in our block, but we go around that corner, girl. We go to 58th and Clay. It was over. It was so great.
Let me tell
Go
you
to Watts
something.
Playground. It was over.
I do not want to revisit the dwellings. Okay. Uh-uh.
Look,
I
now it's a
swear,
senior home and townhomes and all that good stuff.
I do
I
not
wish I
ever
had
want
saw when they
anybody to think,
demolished the high rise.
boom,
I wish I was not there when it happened, but I would have liked to see that.
shut it all
It's a part
down.
of
Give
history.
people a different insight on how life can be if you adapt to the finer things.
Yeah.
You can have the struggle. I take the Picasso. You
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying? I'm like, we're good at all these earthly toils if they come with no reward.
Right.
I see people who have been slinging dope, selling drugs, doing all it, and it's like you did this when we were younger. I'm 37 now, and I'm sure a lot of people were older than I am. You still have nothing to show for it.
I
You
see
get what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah. When
And I'm
I go
like, you're
into the
still
neighborhood, it's like you see the people and you see them when they're younger. You be like, oh, that person is going to do great things, and then you see them and you're like, oh my gosh, how are you as I'll be 47 in a few weeks. I'm like, how you as
wow, you look amazing.
thank you. And I'm like, how you as old as me and you on dippers? Like literally. Like I'm
And there's
looking at
so many people in the go-go community who are gone now.
yeah.
I proudly say that I like to be around prestigious go-go bands. Those where I know the entire band has something to lose, a
Mm-hmm.
family to feed, wives and husbands to get home to, children that they're actually at PTA meetings with, and they're real dads, and they're honorable sources once they leave the stage. The stage is just the entertainment platform for them. People
Mm-hmm.
who have nothing to lose, they abuse their positioning. They're in beefs, and I don't do that. I have to adjust myself accordingly. When I go out to see certain bands, I go in there with creases in my clothes. I come out with creases in my clothes. I ain't ripped nothing from having to run out. I ain't lose a heel
Mm-hmm.
because I had to dart down. Nobody's blood is on my clothes, and I'm not taped in by yellow tape. And you know what I'm saying? I've
Yeah.
never really been a club. I went to clubs, but I never was a club girl. I was always a cabaret girl.
Yeah. I love Kevin.
It's a different type of energy that you get get at a cabaret than you get at a club. When I started going out, I was going out with my cousin Keisha and her friend Teresa. Yeah, I snitched. So I go out with them. They would take me out to like Bryan Manor, Knights of Columbus, Oxon Hill Fire Station, and I was like 17. Too late, you can't lock me up now. But I was like 17, but I was so mature.
Mm-hmm.
My cousins were older, and me modeling the behavior that they displayed. You know what I'm saying? It showed me how what type of etiquette I should have. Have a good time, but you don't have to be one of these wild knucklehead women starting fights, staring at people, mugging them for no reason. You wear too much weave to get your hair snatched off in the club. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't do all of that. Just go out, have a good time. You going to a cabaret, you bump into somebody and knock their drink. Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay, cool. I got more at the
Yeah, no
table.
problem.
I got a pan of string beans and chicken and stuff because you know the cabaret you can bring your food, right?
Right.
You go to a club, it's a big problem. It's a lot of things that come along with just trying to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
One person can blow the whole evening. The party gets shut down. There's uh your admission, your fee to get in.
Right. Everybody get out.
Everybody got to get out, and you just got there.
Mm-hmm.
Can't have a good time. I'm like, I stick to the parameter of the bands that I know I can enjoy. I stick with uh Still Familiar. I stick with Vibe. I love my girl Camise. I just like certain bands I can just vibe to. I can smell good. It's men that look and smell good. I can go to Tacoma Station. Certain bands, you will get the 93.9 best of me. I love you from the car and from afar. I just cannot be up in the mix because there's too many mixed audiences, and I'm pushing 40. I just like the music. I want to have a good time. I still like dancing. I just want to have a good time. That's all I want. I want to do pretty stuff. I want
Yeah.
to sit with pretty women. I want to match Chanel brooches and all the other stuff that pretty girls should do. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have time for.
All the hood rat stuff.
I just don't have the energy for it. I can't. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do all of that. I have one host. I mean, one promoter that I'm working with currently. His name is Pep Talley. Pep, we have some of the most funnest events ever. I'm new to joining his partnering team when it comes to hosting, but he's always running sound for some of the bands that I feature with. I met him at Half Note. Like Half Note is my spot. That's the type of crowd I like because Half Note you get a mixture of a few ages and professions and stuff
Right.
like that. It's like a social networking restaurant go, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes
You know
sense.
what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but I work with Pep now. Pep, he does the day parties at Babylon, and he has a few other events coming up. We actually have an event coming up on the 19th, but we have so much fun, and like his events are just so grown. It's so grown. We have a good time in there. The bands are in there. We had DMV band, we had Let It Flow, we had Faces the one band. It's like it's just grown. You can smell the cologne in the air, the perfume in the air. Women don't have to spray after they pee. Like it's a lot of stuff that look at your face. But I mean, like, it's different.
It's that person that you go in behind the bathroom and you be like, what in the what?
Listen, let me tell you something. And I'm hosting one day. I come out of the restroom. I didn't even realize it. Normally I do a shoe check to make sure I didn't step in any tissue. So I'm walking out, and the gentleman, he said, hold on. This is what he says. Hold on, Queen. Let me stop you for a second. I said, hey. He said, I'm not trying to talk to you, nothing like that. I said, why you don't want to talk to me?
Right, now you offended.
Right. So he said, but listen, you got knocking on the bottom of your shoe. I'm going to get it for you because I know you host it. It was like, it's just a genuine quality that comes with certain environments.
Mm,
Most guys in certain environments, depending on who the woman is, of course, like, yeah, trashy a-hole, and she got tissue stuck to the bottom of her. It's just, you never know what you're going to get based upon where you're going, but
it's upbringing. It's how these parents, a lot of parents don't even raise their children anymore.
hmm,
And they don't teach them respect. They don't teach them anything. My son is 14. Well, he'll be 14 next week.
mm-hmm.
He'll be 14.
All
And
y'all got birthdays.
Yeah. And he's been holding the door open for people. He don't care if it's a woman. It was one time we went to a restaurant and he held the door open for everybody. And the guy came through and he held the door open for my son. He was like, "You a good young man." You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like, and I love that. I love and I don't want them to compliment me. Of course, is
Upbringing.
my teaching,
Yeah.
but I love the compliment for him to hear that, to boost him.
Because this is
I'm doing
how it
the
should be
right
done.
thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I tell him, he will come, like he's one of them kids, he will come and help you with anything. Oh, he bringing all the groceries. Of course, he got finished. Mom, can I just, after this game, it's almost over.
Mm-hmm.
But he does it. I don't know what happens to the generations as I don't know what happens to them. The parents, they don't want to raise
The
kids.
parents aren't
They
even
want to take
being raised.
they don't want them to be in the hood anymore. But then you're working too much
The
to.
parents aren't finished being raised because I have friends that are my age that are grandparents right now, and great grandparents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's that. What are you having a baby at 12? I mean, good grief.
People that, we didn't even finish high school together. They didn't finish high school or junior high school. They already had babies in the seventh.
I was at least out of school and I had my son. My son made me grow up fast. But
Mm.
that was my mother's upbringing. My mother had me young and
Mm-hmm.
she raised me. So,
Mm.
it wasn't like, and my mom wasn't that person. She's like, you had them, you take care of them. She
Yeah, that's
wasn't,
what I'm
you
gonna
know how
do.
most of these grandmothers take over the role as the mother? But that was for a reason. This person was working or they were doing something. But now because I won't watch my grandkids if their mother want to run the street. I won't.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I will not. I would like, what, you gonna go to work?
Mm.
You gonna do this? Okay, I watch you. For
Productive.
you to run the street? No, that was your choice, not
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that grandmother,
I'm
and I
that
have
grand.
4 grandchildren, 3 boys and a girl.
I had a classmate. She had a baby in the when we were in when we were in the seventh grade,
Mm,
and yeah, we were in the seventh grade. By the time her daughter turned 12, um, she had another one. Of course, her daughter turned 18. No, her daughter turned 16. Had a baby. Her daughter turned 18. Had another one.
that's too much.
So I'm like, you're 41 now, and her daughters, daughter they had some kids, man.
I'm loving this conversation, by the way.
You
I
would,
am.
yes.
I knew I would. I knew I would. But in all that you do, I want to know: have you had any role models or any people who have been influential in your life to get where you are now?
My grandmother definitely. She's deceased now, but my grandmother, she used to take me with her on Saturday mornings and certain days when school was out because she used to clean for families in the upper northwest area and and roundabouts of the adjacent areas like Virginia, Arlington, and maybe Fredericks, Maryland. We used to commute on the bus to get there.
Going Frederick.
Fredericks, Maryland, our Rockville.
Woo.
Yeah,
Good
catch the
grief. That's probably
bus.
a 3-hour drive.
I don't know. We were on the bus.
I mean, a bus ride. That's what I
We
meant.
were
Probably a
on the
3.
bus. So my grandmother, she showed me how to clean, what to do, and I used to get $2 for the day for helping her. And I mean, back then, $2 was a lot.
I was about to say that.
It was a lot, and they were only giving her like probably $35
For
per
the
house.
day.
Per house.
That was a
I
lot.
mean, that was a lot when I used to go with my grandmother. And I
Mm-hmm.
get $2 for the day for helping her because she showed me what to do in the house, so I knew what to do there.
Mm-hmm.
Windows, and her back was bad, so baseboards. I always did the floor. She took the highs, I took the lows.
That's why you're
Um,
a baseball queen.
the baseball queen. I am the baseball queen, honey. Let me tell you that. I don't mind getting down and getting dirty. But yeah, so I mean, my grandmother definitely she instilled a lot of humbleness in me, because that's a really humbling experience, especially at that time when you're at the mercy of the dollar that you need to make ends meet for your household. Right now, for me, it's a business. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? But back then, I wouldn't have known what to do if I had to rely solely on the need of someone needing me in order for me to get my rent paid, get food in the refrigerator, or transportation back and forth. And then back then, shoot, the bus was like 85 cent or 95 cent or something like that. I'm not really sure. I don't even know if
You
they
got to
did.
transfer back in the day.
Yeah, and then it wasn't really all day transfers back then.
Oh,
You had to
okay.
pay. I mean, you get a transfer for like a couple of hours. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know if it was all day transfers back then. I just
No, it
know,
was a couple of hours because they had the times on there. I
yeah,
remember
the
that.
country times
Yeah.
that it will expire.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I mean, like we will be out from 4 o'clock in the morning and wouldn't get home till like 7, because
Mm-hmm.
I think her goal was to at least bring in at least a close to $160 a day.
That's a lot
And
back
then
then.
it's not only when you, it is, it's a lot on the child.
Shoot,
I didn't have
$160
like
gone in a day
weekends
now.
and girl, I go to Homeboys and spend that on crabs in one transaction. I'm serious. I take for granted a lot of things, but I don't take for granted a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I just be
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, like I remember when I used to the royalties that I get to partake in right now, it was definitely a struggle to get there and to get here. But my grandmother, she showed me a lot of things, and you know, about like not talking back, and like the manners that you have to have even when you're being insulted. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Maintaining your temperament, because the circumstances should not change or adjust who you are at heart. It's a lot of things that she's shown me. My grandmother was definitely a lady. She was definitely a lady. Never went out the house looking crazy. Never, she was as she got older, she off the chain though. But she was, my grandmother was off the chain, but she was always a lady, very civil, very poised. She spoke intelligently, and when she opened her mouth, it was always a teaching, session. Um, she just showed me how to take care of a home. Like if I never knew anything else, what to do as far as they call it, a hustle. If I never knew how to do anything else, I knew how to keep a home. I knew how to get everything done before it was time for the arrival of everybody to come home. Like dinner is cooked before we left.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She'd stay up all night, cook dinner for the next day, and all everyone would have to do is heat it. And we didn't have a microwave. We had to put it in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We had the whole Claudine going on over there, okay? All the clothes, we washed them in a tub because we didn't have a washing machine. And not until I probably turned like maybe 11 or 12, my mother bought a washing machine from the thrift store, and we put it in the kitchen. I think we was one of the only families. I grew up around 21st. Only
Okay.
families around 21st that had a washing machine inside of their apartment. Like the homeowners probably had one, but we didn't have one up until that point. I used to wash all my clothes in a tub, or when I got paid for my summer job, I take them to the laundromat on Benning Road and 15th Street, by across from Hackett Mall where the McDonald's is.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Because the joint at the bottom, yeah, the joint at the bottom of the hill, around our neighborhood, it always kept our money, or the machines would damage our clothes. So we took it to there. And then I don't know where I started getting this shishi foo-fooness from. Because when I started working and got my summer job, oh, I was going to the dry cleaners, putting my it was like, wait a minute, what are you doing? $13 on clothes. Yeah, yeah. I'm
yeah.
paying to
Let's
get
see.
like,
Let
yeah,
me
they
take
looked at
this
me,
back to this laundromat over here.
girl, and they was, because I mean, I used to wash my clothes, iron my clothes, hang them up for the week, Can you imagine
Yeah.
washing jeans by hand?
I
It was
don't.
a lot.
I never. I don't know. I never had that experience.
And
Wherever.
look, and back then it's like you had to boil your hot water because the hot water could run out in the bathroom. And you needed that for showering. So you got to clean the tub just to put the water inside of the tub with the detergent, let it soak, wash everything. You got to wash drawers, you got to wash this. And we had lines in the living room. Put the little hook with the rope, clothespin,
Hmm.
hang everything up at night. Oh my gosh.
And hope it's dry in the morning.
You put
Or
it in
you
front of
turn
the
the oven
fan,
on. Did you turn the
the
oven
oven
on?
on. But see, the
Yeah.
oven turn your white shirts brown if you don't it's
Oh
ways to
wow.
it. Yeah, like the way
I didn't
our
know
oven
that.
was. Oh, sure. Oh, you wasn't poor
By
enough.
time no, by time by a time my grand we didn't have a dryer. We had to hang them on the line, but we had a wash machine because my granddaddy had a good government job. He was military,
Mm-hmm.
and he used to drive
Okay, yeah.
the tractor trailers. Once he retired, he drove tractor trailers for the Air Force, shipping their artillery and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we were one of the ones with the nice house on the block and
Mm-hmm.
the washing machine, and it was in the kitchen. And then I was
Yeah.
complaining because I had to hang the clothes. Well, when I was little, I loved it, but then when you get older,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, man, you gotta wash early in the morning and get
It was
everything
cute
out on the
until you
line.
start. For me, it was cool until I got to an age where peers can see that I had a struggle, and it became embarrassing. But then I definitely transitioned out of that real fast. Like I used to hide food stamps because I ain't want nobody seeing me with them. Girl,
Hmm.
please. Nowadays, I be like, who got them? Where they at?
Right,
I'm about to. Here's my card.
right. I mean, just
Here's
like
my
that too.
card. I don't care. Let me tell you something. You dumb if you don't have them. If you don't advertise them and flaunt them, you
Right.
dumb.
I surely
We the
used
dumb ones
mine.
out here trying to
I
be cute with
applied
a
for them. I didn't
visa,
think they were going to give them
swiping
to
at a
me.
grocery store. Listen, we the
I didn't
stupid
think they were
ones
going to give them to
spending over
me.
$100 with a Visa logo on some food. Ugh,
Right. It's a big
that's
difference. Give me my
dumb.
little orange
Ugh.
card.
Give me the U.S. bank joint or whatever the John DC maps, whatever EBTs on it. Give me all that. The blue one,
Everything.
the white one, the orange. I want
The
them
orange one.
all.
That's what I look. When I
All.
applied for, I said, let me apply for these food stamps and see what they're going to say. They was like, here you go.
Let me
I
tell you
was like, well,
something.
thank you.
They give me food stamps. I'm about to start doing commercials and advertisements like the chime cards.
All right.
No interest,
Look,
no payments,
I tell people
overdraft.
they
Yep,
better
I'm doing all that.
get what you can get. I mean, we
Absolutely.
pay our taxes. Come on, you pay your taxes.
And that's
Get
what I try to
back
tell people.
what
It's
you.
nothing to be proud of. Because when you work and you pay taxes, you invest into the hardship. And
Mm-hmm.
that hardship in turn gives you certain liberties and access points to certain benefits.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having unemployment insurance compensation.
Yep.
Yep. So I mean, those are things that people need to be consider about. But yeah, those like my grandmother, my dad's mom. I would say both my grandmothers, but my dad's mom, she was Caucasian. So my dad's mom is white. She passed away, but they grew up in an Amish town in Appomattox, Virginia, in Albemarle, Virginia. They are small towns, very small towns. It's like the color purple. The next door neighbor is like yonder. You have to take a wagon to come into the town. You got to park your cars. If you're driving, you got to park your cars at the loading station. Your cars got to stay there because you can't drive and have carbon dioxide or whatever.
Right.
Is it monoxide or dioxide? Okay, they don't
From
want it
the
in the crops. So you have to leave your car at the loading station and you take a wagon into town, or you can rent a bike and you got to ride. Okay,
this is
the
still
wagon.
now.
Yeah,
This is how it was
still.
before. It's still like this now. Okay.
Yeah, it's still like that. It's an Amish town. We used to wash our clothes with the rocks, the white rocks, because it scrubs out. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? up against the river. We had a store. My cousin and I, my cousin Kiki, that's the eldest cousin on my dad's side. She we had a store out there. Like when our family members had a store, and when we go out there, me and Kiki, we was able to run it, do what we wanted to do inside of there, get the snacks and stuff. But they actually churn butter. They
I
actually
love
milk
doing that.
cows, goats, like so I could survive. You hear me? If all this stuff was gone, I'm one of those people that can survive. I'm one of those people that can survive. So I would not be impacted by any type of deficiencies. Not longevity. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know how to
I
start a
got you.
fire. I know how to start a fire. I know how to cook on a kettle. I know how to, start a hearth. You know what I'm saying? Like these things I know how to do. So I can the survival tactic is in me. I know what to do. I know how to keep the ball rolling. So I mean, like yeah, those are the pioneers in my family and in my life who have made an influential marking on my life and provided guidance and things of that sort. They have definitely left their mark on me, and I just carry a lot of traits, ways, tools, memories with them, and a lot of things that I do and say. Um, I definitely appreciate like my sisters. They've always been my biggest support system, and they have always shown their appreciation of me and the return support for their businesses as well. You
Are you
know,
the younger sister, or where are you within your
I'm
sisters?
the eldest. My mom has a child and my dad has a child.
Okay.
So I'm the eldest of two beautiful women. They are good girls. Well, no, they're not. They
We
my
all
good
got some
girls.
little bad within us.
They are my good girls.
They're your good girls.
But no, they good. They are real good girls, like scholastically and career wise, and things of that sort. They are good girls. But like my sisters are definitely my biggest cheerleaders. I love my sisters. And I make a lot of great relationships. I have a few coworkers who have become family over over the last probably 8-9 years, if not longer. Like I mean, some relationships convert, and you can definitely see the effectiveness of how people have adapted to effective change in your life,
Mm-hmm.
because you start to
Family
see.
don't always mean blood.
And the good thing about it is when you can start to see other people in yourself, you see that they're leaving their mark on you. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And I like the patience, the tenacity that they've taken to give me wise counsel, guidance, support, even laughter. You know what I'm saying? You tell me a joke, that's help for me. It's helping
Mm-hmm.
me, laugh through certain things that I may either take too seriously or may not understand. Um, and I take advantage of, social hour and just being able to let my head down and being the authentic me, being my authentic self around a lot of my friends and family and close loved ones, and also just knowing who to keep at bay and knowing who to keep guarded and gated for situational purposes. I don't need everybody around me. I learned how to stop being so adaptable to everything. I like to be in touch but out of reach.
Yeah, I
I
understand.
know that sounds crazy, but I like to be in
No,
touch but
no,
out.
it doesn't, because you got to protect your energy, and
You
you
do, and
gotta,
I'm
and it's
big
not
on that. I'm
using
so
someone.
big on that.
Everyone has their purpose.
Mhm.
Everyone has
Yeah,
their
and I'm so big on that. I'm big on protecting my inner peace, my energy. I'm not easily swayed. I'm not fickle minded. So I'm kind of stern on what it is that I want to do, because I have to see out the goals that I set for myself. So it's just, it's a little different. You know what I'm saying? It's a
yeah,
little different for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I understand totally, because it took me some time to get to that place where I'm like, look, you can't be everything for everyone, and you have to protect your own energy, your own peace of mind.
That's true. That is so true.
Because we lose ourselves
That's so
trying
true.
to please everyone else.
We definitely, and in the process of entrepreneurs thriving together, you start to develop an identity complex because you're starting to compare yourself to other people and compare where your success chart line should be. You're not in competition with anybody because what you might need, with certain steps that you may need to take to get to the same results, they're necessary for you to
Mm-hmm.
take. And it's okay that yours may take a little longer because you're not in a race.
We may want to do the same thing or be to get to the same goal
Mm-hmm.
to whatever in our entrepreneurship, but we didn't
Mm-hmm.
start in the same place. So I can't never compare mine to yours or yours to mine. Like I don't understand why people. Another thing I don't like. So like if you have an idea, everyone
Mm-hmm.
wants their signature idea. But if you
Mm-hmm.
have
Right.
an idea that you can share with someone else, why not share that idea?
That's true.
Yeah, I mean just people in life period. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like to deal with people or to be
But see,
around
some
people
people
who
aren't
don't.
teachable though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've learned that with being a boss, some people aren't teachable. And some of the steps that you may be able to disperse into them, they may not receive it because all they hear is we do the same thing. You're my competition. You're my inferior. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
can't pour into them because they don't have a listening ear with an open heart and an open mind.
Right.
So everybody is not on the receiving end. They just want to be on the receiving end. You get what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And
I
and and
tell
it's
people,
harder. It's harder for us to be able to build, grow, and thrive because nobody wants to sit at the teaching of wise counsel anymore.
they
Nobody wants to
say too
sit at
many
the
chiefs,
foot
not
of
enough Indian.
instruction. Too many, way too many chiefs, not enough Indians. You know, and it's okay because chiefs have to learn from chiefs too.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Bosses go to conventions all the time.
All the time.
Bosses go to trainings and conventions and workshops all the time on how to be a better boss. And sometimes they're being taught by somebody who's not a boss.
Yeah.
They're just teaching you tools
They have
from
techniques.
what you need to do. They have techniques.
I learn from everybody. Even though you're 10 years younger than
Hmm.
me, I can learn from you. I can learn from my little kid. I can learn from my 5-year-old
That's
grandson.
it. Hmm.
I can learn any and everything. People don't ever tell someone I know more than you because I'm older than you. No, you
No,
don't.
man.
Because my son speaks
No,
Chinese and
man.
I can't speak Chinese.
Mm-mm. I just
You
eat
hear me?
Chinese.
I huh? You speak Chinese?
I just eat Chinese. I
Oh,
eat
you just eat
Chinese
Chinese? That's
food.
me. Look, so I don't want this moment to end. I'm just this conversation is so great. But I'm going to
This
ask
just
you
means
one
we need
last.
to have more downtime.
Yes, yes. We need to have a. Well, I don't know. It's kind of yeah. We can have a girls' night in.
We can have a girls' night in. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, because this COVID thing is crazy now, up and
Oh
down,
man,
up and
never
down.
ending. Never ending.
So that brings me to the last question. So, how has your life changed due to COVID?
It's actually been great. During COVID, I've been able to position and prioritize a lot of things. I've been able to eliminate the unnecessary and focus on the priority. It has definitely taught me the essence of essential and saving, spending only when necessary on what is necessary. Don't forget to treat yourself in between. You have to live. All these things can disappear or become inconvenient or inaccessible to you, but you still have to continue thriving and moving forward. What are you going to do with it once the world stops? Technically, the world kind of stopped. Man, God has really been good. There were no breaks in service with me for work. And the business has bloomed. I got everything off the ground. Things that I procrastinated with doing over so long for just poor judgment of time, just thinking that I always had time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did pretty well. I was able to pour into different businesses. Hosting really didn't stop. It was a lot of things that kept ways paid for me. And I really didn't know who needed my services as much as they did until the pandemic hit.
Right.
Because people who were either trying to sell a home, purchase a home, or got evicted from homes or what have you, they had to get stuff out of there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you do all that too.
Yeah, I do evictions too.
Okay.
Evictions, do the cleaning for the units. We do a lot of that stuff. Because
Okay.
once the property managers get the occupants out, they have to get somebody in there to clean them. And most of the times they don't have a cleaning company on site to do those particular jobs. And I'm like, okay, we'll do it. Call me. I can help you with a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I can help you with a lot of things. But yeah, just learning how to prioritize and focus on the me first, because I can't be anything to anybody else if I'm not those things to myself.
Right.
So that was one of the biggest things for me. So I actually did pretty well. I did pretty well. And I got so much rest.
Yes.
So much rest. Like,
I'm
and
pretty
I
much rested
honestly,
out.
I don't even want to leave the house these days. For real. I spent so much time building my home and putting things into the home. And I did a lot of cleaning and throwing things away, purging old items. I'm like, I'm not keeping these old clothes. I don't even look like that anymore. I don't dress this way anymore.
Right.
I don't even have
I
the
did
same
the same
energy
thing.
I don't have the same energy as I did when I bought these items. Like, they can go. Let me bless somebody else with this, and just give it without looking back. Don't charge nobody for the stuff that you're giving them. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Some people sell you
Yeah,
stuff. Take it. Because
I
I
did.
was
I
I was
had to get
blessed
a
when
whole
I
new
got it.
wardrobe.
Yeah. When I bought it, I was blessed to be able to get it. Let me bless somebody else with it for free.
Yeah.
That's just how we're gonna do. I recently went through this big band. I had bought all these wigs. I love my wigs because I'm natural. So I won't manipulate my own hair. I just buy me a wig to be whoever I want to be for that day. But it was so many wigs. I was like, I'm not even gonna wear these wigs like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I started
Mm-hmm.
blessing the crown of a queen, is what I call it. Women who have alopecia, women who have bald spots, women who, have cancer, any type of challenges that they're going through. Just being able to pour into them and make them feel a little more confident, and just bring
That's small
into great
change.
spirits. Yeah, effective change too.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's like it's a few things that I like to do. I like to be the reflection of a person's smile.
Yeah.
Not to
When
be
I closed
seen.
my daycare, I didn't. It was a they called it the book barn. It set off a Forestville Road. This lady had
Okay.
her house. You know what I'm talking about? And she had all
Mhm.
these barns in her book. I mean books in her
Yeah.
barn.
Yeah.
So when she retired, she gave all her stuff away. And the 80% of my books came from her. So
Hmm.
when I closed my daycare, I put them in my trunk. Well, I did a Facebook thing. A lot of people came by and got books. And the last little bit, I just opened up my trunk and I was like, I'm going to be in this parking lot. Come and get these books.
Wow. And see, the
Yeah.
schools don't even have book fairs like they used to anymore.
No,
I said, man, this is crazy.
I grew up in the library.
Wow. Yep.
Like I used to go to Glenarm Library because I lived over in Dodge Park when I was
Okay.
younger.
Okay.
And I would walk to the library, me and my sister.
Wow. Okay.
I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
That's where I spent my summers when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. It's always good to feed your brain.
Because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people know I'm about to put it out, but I do poetry too. So I just, because of the
Killing
pandemic,
me softly with his words.
I just started back and I've been editing for a friend of mine. He got me. So funny. He got me started on his YouTube channel. Got me
Wow.
started back in my poetry. Yeah, so like he got me started doing this, and he because I edit his poetry for him, and
Mm.
like, have you written anything? I was like, oh, years ago. He was like, well, what is it? So I was reading a little bit, and he was like, you need to start putting your poetry out there. And I was like,
Wow.
okay. Well, I think I don't know if they kicked her out or if we just exceeded our time. So thank you all for joining Perfecting My 360, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Thank you all for watching, and show some love. Hit that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe and share. Click that notification to get up-to-date videos on my amazing guests.